cabin about 10 years ago. Now you have to remember that Shaun and Jamie did not know each other. Jamie was a friend of Shawnee's little sister Amanda. Now Jamie had to come out to the cabin, or she came out to the cabin with Amanda a few times, and we all absolutely loved her. She's clinging again. Clink, 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 clink. Jamie was like the nanny. She did everything with a smile. We all kept telling Shaun to go for her. She's such a great catch. Look at her. But sadly, he wanted nothing to do with her. Funny enough, Jamie wanted no part of him. Until one weekend, there were a few friends out at the cabin. And shocker, Shawnee's friend Brett, right here, thought it would be fun to have a jack night. Now, for all of those of you here who don't know what a jack night is, let me show you. Hold on. So, this is apparently what a jack night is. Jack Daniels. Looks like fun, hey? Hold on. Well, apparently it is, so just ask our lovely couple. By the end of the night, Shawnee and Jamie were both sitting in a two-seater chair around the fire, and Jamie was supposedly rubbing Shawnee's belly. Well, I guess they got to know each other, and Jamie must have done a good job, because after that night, Shaun finally asked his sister Amanda for Jamie's number. They had their first date later that week at Assiniboine Park, followed by a breakfast at Denny's after Jamie worked the night shift. So, let's skip 10 years forward, a million belly rubs, and a whole lot of Jack, and here we are tonight. So what do you say if we make the lovely couple Jack it back? So as I stand here tonight, I ask you all what's more romantic than a beautiful wedding day like today. You have beautiful flowers, a great meal, you're dressed to the nines, and you can feel the love in the air. I would say not much. Personally, I think tonight is as romantic as it gets. Well, not to our bride and groom. After dating Jamie for a bit, Shawnee thought that the right thing to do was to take her on a romantic getaway. Makes sense. Now this romantic getaway was not your everyday romantic getaway. This romantic getaway was approximately an hour and a half east of the city, into the White Shell, to the little green cabin at the corner of Newton McLean. Anybody here hear of it? Because I hear it's a beauty. Well, this romantic getaway was planned strategically around hunting season. It had all the fixings. Shawnee's bow, his arrows, camel, oh yeah, and of course the food. You can never forget about the food, especially when Shaun is cooking. He brought out garlic shrimp, lobster, you name it, Shawnee brought it. Well, if you're not out at the cabin and you're cooking butter, or garlic butter, or any other delicious goodness, you're bound to have some unexpected guests show up. And that is exactly what happened. This cute little critter made a home under the gazebo. Wrong place to live, especially when there's a sharpshooter there. The cute little critter was lured out from under the gazebo as they decided to use the leftover garlic butter as bait. While standing in the cabin with Jamie holding the back door open, Shawnee took stance, pulled back his arrow and bow, and... Now for everyone here that knows Shawnee, that is not all that Shawnee has shot. From every form of wildlife to anything that can be a target, moving or not, he's shot, or at least he's tried. I'm sure a few of you here have a battle scar or two. I know I do. A few months later, Shaun and Jamie decided to go on a relaxing weekend. Of course, it was back to the cabin for opening deer season. Shaun was hunting and Jamie was watching movies. When Shawnee shot a deer, he ran back to the cabin to tell Jamie. Now remember, they hadn't been together for all that long, but she paused her movie, said, "I'm just not a little pretty face, you know." Got up and helped him drag it out of the bush. Threw it back into the back of the Maxima and raced home to go to her Christmas party.
The Maxima.
I remember Shawnee calling me to tell me about his weekend and said that any woman that would drag a deer out of the bush is the girl I'm going to marry. So, I guess there is a more romantic night then. All right, so let's go ahead and meet our head table. I'm going to start to my far right, your beautiful bridesmaids. First off, our junior bridesmaid, Madison Glassick. Oh, actually, sorry, when I say your name, stand up, please. Madison is growing up way too fast, and the boys better be careful. Uncle Shawnee is a sharpshooter. Give it up for Madison. Next to Madison, we have friend of the bride, Brittany Lawrence. Britt loves to...
Yeah, Brittany!
Her greatest passion is arm wrestling. She says she will take on any of you. Let's hear it for Brittany. Next to Brittany, we have Shawnee G's younger sister, Amanda Glassick. As most of you know, Amanda plays hockey. If any of you have seen her play, she got most of her moves from me. So Amanda, put your weapon away. Next to Amanda, we have the bride's best friend, Kelly Lump. Kelly is feeling much better, just to let you all know. And she's also known her bride since they have been in grade 7. They love playing hacky sack, and when they were a little older, they loved driving around listening to Bone Thugs. Give it up for Kelly. Now let's skip all the way down. Right next to me are handsome groomsmen. Let's start with Nick Basarowicz, friend of the groom. If Nick is not doing the alligator wrestling move on our groom, you might find him riding, possibly with his assless chops, on one of his many motorcycles. Give it up for Nick. Next to Nick, we have Brett Morrish, friend of everyone. Brett loves to laugh and invent new things to try. He was the one that invented jacklegs. Give it up for Brett. Next to Brett, we have our bride and groom's pride and joy, her son, Andrew Petroniak. Andrew is very artistic and very well could be the next Picasso. Let's hear it for Andrew. Now let's not forget about our precious flower girl. How sweet is she? She's looking so beautiful. She did a fantastic job today. My Munkaroo, your flower girl, Hudson Stasnik. And now the big moment, ladies and gentlemen, keep your hands clapping. Our bride and groom, please welcome for the first time as husband and wife, Jamie and Shaun and Jamie. Doesn't she look beautiful? Check out the groom. He cleans up well for a guy who's usually dressed in camo, doesn't he? Ladies and gentlemen, a big hand for Mr. and Mrs. Shawnee Glassick. Okay, we also have some special recognition here tonight.